Welcome back, ladies and gents, to QuakeCon 2016. It is the day of QuakeWorld, and we are progressing through, well, soon towards the all the winner bracket matches. Well, we've done most of, no, we still have that to come. The winner bracket match is still to come, and that will be after this one or the one after that. So that's going to be a big highlight for a lot of people, because those are the two top seeded teams that everyone expected to do very well. But first, the Brazilian story continues. Yeah. And this has been an amazing storyline, because again, no one quite knew exactly what to expect from the Brazilian scene. Of course, being replaced by Dev, and he's done a fantastic job. He's been doing very well. He's been playing with GT, and GT has been playing as expected very well, handling the LAN nodes very effectively, and they're going up against some very difficult opponents. Oh, do Aeronauts think they have a... Are they really confident about this match, or are they quite wary going into it, knowing that they have got this GT guy to face up against? I think they have the right attitude, because I think they're very wary. They don't want to. They just want to make sure that they don't have any expectations going into it. They don't. I think they really respect their opponents. And as BPS said, it's an honor. It's an honor to be here. So that's a really good attitude. And they've already kicked it off on Aerowalk, so that'll be our first map. And already the quad will go straight away to GT. Let's see what he can do with it. And he's actually managed to survive with it quite a bit. But as soon as I say that, BPS is going to be taking him down. Team Brazil have had some mixed results on this map. When they went up against Ragnarok, there was a little bit of a stomping, but it went differently when they went up against USA and Canada. Now, I wonder what the results going to be there for them. But Aeronauts getting a good start, it looks like, with Dev team killing GT. Oh yeah, and I mean, I'm quite afraid in some respects for Dev and GT, because this is a map where a player like Locust can really get his groove on. He's a great Aerowalk duelist. You don't usually expect him to be too predominant in team modes, but he can just do his own thing here. And BPS can kind of play around him, and he can run those armors. He can use his amazing movement. All the movement tricks will be there for Locust to exploit, as well as his really strong LG. And we already saw how good he was at kind of transferring the LG to multiple targets in the chaos. So this is right up his street, and the quad is actually up for grabs for BPS right now. Dev was desperately trying to get in there to get the frag at the end. I think quad did go down in the end. I think he suicided, in fact. So at least Team Brazil do not need to worry about that for the time being, but they are lacking quite a few frags for the time being. So they definitely need to pick themselves up a bit. GT does have some resources to work with, so it's just a question, can they push the other two players off of the red armor and take it themselves? Dev has been really making a home out of this area in all the Aerowalk games that we've seen so far. He needs to do that again. Yeah, Locust has been protecting the red armor very, very well. And in about 20 seconds or so, the next quad is going to be spawning. And so if Locust can maintain the integrity of his stack, he's going to be great stead to take that. But he will take a lot of damage, just as I say that. So he could really use another red armor. And there will be another one before the quad spawns for Locust to go towards. But he's more interested in the mega, and he's going to get himself towards the quad area much sooner than that. So giving up the red towards GT and Dev, but what can they do with it? Because the positioning is here with Aeronauts on quad. I like that they're taking control of the upper side of it, then dropping down for quad just as it's about to spawn, and really clearing out any sign of Team Brazil, so that there's no chance that they can make a run onto the quad damage. And Lucas a little bit low, has managed to pick up a frag or two. Oh, there we go, quickly finding them in the air. And hacking into the server and going a million miles an hour. Yeah, going into the Matrix. Locust is a temporal overlord, it seems, and can he defeat his previous record on the last match that he played of 12 frags in the quad run? That was on ZTN on Blood Run. Locust obviously, he actually didn't get too many frags out of that. You would normally expect if you get out with armor, LG and Rocket to be able to do some more damage, but obviously GT and Dev doing a good job damaging him as he goes for those frags and stopping him from really getting the massacre on. But it's happening regardless. Just we're already 41-6 right now. The frags are just coming in droves right now for both BPS and Locust. They're doing a great job, but they have lost that red control. Although it's gone to Dev, and he's got a quad. They just completely ignored it on that occasion. There was absolutely nothing from Aeronauts. There's a chance then for them to pick up a few kills. He's got some good armor. I think he controlled the red fairly recently. It is about to spawn again, but as he needs to start picking up some kills, he's just not. I think he had one kill with the quad so far and nothing else. Clear out that red room and take control of it. I finally managed to get one. Oh, he's just oh, there's BPS who killed his teammate. My mistake. So that was definitely a really big moment there for Dev. Wasn't able to quite hit the shots he really had to hit, but at the same time GT was still in control of the red area. So hopefully if GT can hold on to this, win the fights, and the attempts to take it over, that might come from Locust, who's going to go with any armor, and you can see him going for it right now, and you can see GT's going to go for the chase. It's really important that GT controls this area. That would have been their chance really for the next quad, but already you can see Locust and BPS setting up for the quad that will spawn in 5 seconds, and Locust, once again, he wants that one, but in comes Dev with the rockets.
And GT's on it, as if he's able to escape with some armor. He has managed to get something, taking some damage. BPS just simply will not die and manages to kill off the quad damage. We know what kind of damage GT can do once he gets a clean quad with a bit of armor behind him, but he just was completely shut down. Yeah,
absolutely. Very tough ask there, and we have Locust in on the red armor. GT will push him off, really important. Takes down BPS as well. He's got plenty of cells, plenty of rockets behind him, but he really needs that red pickup. Oh dear, it actually looks like Dev's going to rocket jump to the red and almost kill GT in the process. GT desperately needs some armor. He's doing a great amount of damage though, despite not having anything. Great movement from GT. Might want to pick up that yellow, but never mind. He will go back towards the helping the effort there towards red. GT did a lot of damage despite having no armor, but he definitely could have picked up the yellow there.
He doesn't always like to prioritize getting the items as well. He's very much get to the action as fast as possible.
This is scary.
He managed to get that red as well now. That was interesting how he got red, but Dev was over on the quad on his own and made that work for himself. So do you feel like there's maybe a breakdown in communication somewhere? Not for them necessarily, but why there's difficulty for Aeronauts to have that focus fire on Dev?
Yeah, sometimes there are just spots where you realize you just won't be able to do anything, and then maybe you can just take the red instead of just going and dying a quad. If you realize the other teams are already in some way set up there, I think that was a moment of weakness for BPS and Locust in that sense, that they didn't really feel like they could scrap together too much of an assault potentially. Either way, they have to convert, and so far we're getting frags back here from Dev and GT. Stuff is happening. The massive deficit of like 40 frags is closing.
Yeah,
but they need to keep it going.
It looked like they were going to completely run away with it, in fact, but with 4 minutes to go, definitely the right moves being made by Team Brazil to try and get back in this game. Red is up in 5 seconds. GT desperately trying to hold on to that area, but we've also got Quad coming as well. Locust is there on his own. He's going to leave it over for BPS, though, in fact.
Yeah, BPS has that lightning gun, who will promptly kill his teammate, but he's now got himself a rocket pack, and that rocket pack is going to be put to good use. A couple of kills coming out there, but GT death from above there with the rockets, and that's immediately... welcome to QuakeWorld.
Some pressure coming from the Brazilians, and GT is going to be able to survive that encounter, trying to get himself over to red, but I think BPS got the better end then. Rushing right back at it. Dev wants it, but he's only got 16 points of health, and Locust is immediately behind him. I don't know where GT disappeared to. I think he may have been better serving on the red armor.
So, I mean, Locust is in a great spot to now push control away from the red if he wants to. Taking this angle is not always going to be the best, but he's so confident because he's got a big stack, and he knows he's going to win the fight. He knows he's going to get the red afterwards, so he can lose all of his armor there. A really smart move from Locust, not messing around there. Just takes the most direct route, even though it's the most dangerous one. And now he's ready for the quad, which is spawning imminently. And GT's going to die pushing for it. And oh god, Locust has everything.
This is a pretty monster stack actually to have with this, but he's got to be careful pushing through those choke points, and he's going to be quite tactful in order to get close to these Brazilian players. Getting 2 frags in very quick succession there, pressure on from GT and damage being taken. Locust, it looks as if he almost wants that mega, but I think he's just waiting for their frags to come to him.
And there you go. You can see when Locust gets a quad, and you will see a similar action from BPS as well. They're just going to murder everybody. You've got to be so careful letting them out of quad with red and rockets and LG. That's so dangerous. We need that from GT or Dev. If they can pull off a move like that, they can definitely get themselves back in this. With 2 minutes left, that's the only way back in at this point. They have to get the next quad, and it's got to be a big run.
Right, it's about 10 seconds now until that next quad spawns. BPS is pretty weak at the moment, but he just keeps on floating these Brazilian players. Dev eventually turns around and manages to get an important kill. But who is over at the quad? Dev is there. He's got pressure there from below, but GT. Did the quad get taken?
Yeah, he got taken and immediately killed there, I think, by Locust. Or I guess by BPS. Either way, Locust and BPS controlling things quite well, expanding their lead even further. They've done enough, it would seem, and it's going to be lights out soon here for GT and Dev. They had a good effort. I mean, we saw a lot of good moves from them, but they just could never quite get the quads rolling in. They got one big opportunity, I think it was on Dev, and he just wasn't quite able to hit the shots he had to hit with the rockets, and that really was the problem. I think had he had a strong run there, which it was very possible.
Of course, GT was shut down on what could have been a good run as well, so I mean, it was just very effective play from the Aeronauts to ensure that there wasn't going to be too many injuries from any of those runs.
Yeah, and Quake was a very unforgiving game. Sometimes you only get one chance, one opportunity, and if you don't make it work, then that can end up losing you a game. And that might have been the situation because BPS and Locust were so good every other time at either taking the quad themselves or denying it entirely from their opponents should they take it. And now BPS, it's his turn to get an end of the map quad run and have some fun. And there's already a bunch of frags for him. Locust wants to in on the action as well, though.
Yeah, there's a whole load of frags happening now. There was definitely a sort of 3-4 minute area where the Brazilians had completely stemmed the bleeding, and it looked like they were making a bit of a comeback, but at the end of the day, it was just the perseverance from Aeronauts and just brute strength in the map to continue pummeling against them.
Yeah, very strong result here for Locust and BPS. I think one that you would probably expect by and large.
They were a little bit anxious about it. They were being very modest, it seems, in terms of their expectations, and really hope they're taking this as seriously as you can.
I feel like
being cocky.
I feel like for GT and Dev, I think your DM2s and your DM6s are going to be much easier against, because Locust and BPS have so much like raw skill. When their in-fight is so good, and then on a map like this, you can see when they get into the groove, it is scary, very scary.
And Locust seems to be an absolute monster. He's always topping the scoreboard every time they're playing a game as well. So yeah, he builds up a huge amount of frags very quickly. Looks like we are going to be preparing for ZTN now for map number 2. And we are in the top 4 stage at the moment here in the QuakeWorld tournament. The winner of this will be going into top 3. Where we will be seeing, I believe, is Ragnarok versus Team Rune.
Yes.
Who are to face off there, and then that will decide how the loser bracket is going to be finished as well.
Yeah, that's going to be a really fun matchup. And, well, we got ourselves some more blood runs, some more ZTN. Let's see how it's going to fare. Who will get the first quad? It's always an interesting thing. Usually it's a mad dash. Got to eliminate that quad quickly.
BPS over to the red very quickly. Locust, he's going to be rushing it with a rocket jump. Ooh. And I think he had the Mega on him as well with a green armor to go. GT right next to him, but some fantastic damage. And it's an early lead for Team Brazil, but it's 15 seconds in the game. We can't speak much about that.
Absolutely. I mean, that was really important to be able to kill the quad there. I think it was very possible that a quad rocket could easily have found its way to stopping that, and then it would have been a pretty devastating run. But instead, it's going to be a little bit more difficult here for Locust and BPS, although BPS has a good state on the armor. They would like to get onto that red, and that might happen now. Oh, just barely missing the rocket jump up to the red, in fact. He would have been a bit too early anyway, so it's probably worked out in the end.
G being pushed out as well. I think it's going to be about 15 seconds or so until the quad is going to spawn, so I'm wondering how the setups are going to be planned out now and who's going to be getting to the quad area first to try and at least hold the room away from the other team. And it's like already got the Brazilians in there. In fact, BPS has been taken away. Dev is there with 19 health, but he's got to watch out. Got to be careful with his mouse positioning. And both players, Locust and BPS, are on sub-nothing health.
GT is very stacked. Look at that, 200-200.
Wow.
It's beautiful. You don't often see it in 2-on-2, but he's managed to do it, at least on some of these faster pace maps. And he's getting the damage in there, but getting shot in the back as well. A lot of action here in the center. Absolute madness battling over this red armor. And if you're just joining us, the Aeronauts, the Swedes, BPS, and Locust. BPS and Locust did win the first map.
Right.
And the Brazilians trying to get it back in it here in this best of 3 series on a Blood Run or ZTN. So then the mad action continues there over in center map where you have the red armor and also the mega below. A lot of spawns as well. It's such an amazing place to be if you're fully tooled up and you're winning battles, because you can get this follow-up, the conversion kills off the spawn, and that's a really big deal in this map.
It looks like it's going to be a Aeronauts quad as well. Locust got the last red armor before quad spawned, and he is in a really good position to make something happen. We're at a tied game right now. I get the feeling we won't be at a tied game by the end of this quad run.
Absolutely, he is very stacked, and we've seen what he can do with this. And he's in center map, he's looking to just murder everybody. Even BPS, he's going to be almost killed by that quad rocket.
I think he already killed him once, actually, in the quad run, so...
Let's make it 2 times. Poor BPS. There's not enough space for more than one player on this team. It's all about Locust. And to be honest, it's hard not to kill your teammates, especially if you've got a quad. So Locust, he didn't actually find many frags to the... That's great work in hiding until the quad was over by GT and Dev.
Still about 10 frag advantage by the end. I think that's actually largely to do with the work that BPS was doing outside of Locust's quad run, but now Locust has just taken a mega. His stack is absolutely monstrous. It's sure his armor's running out, but his health is good. And he's going to be able to continue his run a little bit longer. And once again, it feels like the last quad run only just recently ended, and we've got another one spawning immediately. Locust gets the next one, and first kill onto Dev with it. Where's the pressure that he can continue to pile on?
Yeah, it was really nice work there from the, again, in-fight movement from BPS and Locust in the quad room. And again, the quad at this point with the score separating like it was, that's really the big difference maker. I mean, we saw that GT and Dev were keeping it very, very close with Locust and BPS for the beginning of the match. And it was that big quad run that started to separate things. So that's where the difference is going to be made. So they've got to find a way to deal with that situation. Is it an early setup? That might be the answer. Sometimes it can work, but we'll have to see. They do need some armor to fight against BPS and Locust with as well.
I haven't really seen GT in a bit of time. He seems to have been very good at evading Locust on his quad run. All right, there. He managed to get the jump up onto the red armor. Has he escaped that area? He's gone, and he's all the way up at the back end of the room, actually towards the quad damage, which is once again going to be spawning in 5 seconds. Dev's there. GT, he's turned up, he's got some health, a little bit of armor, and maybe he's going to get a bit of a run himself. Locust in front of him, just about gets the frag with 23 health left. Where is some health for this chap? Following that red armor, actually he's found plenty of resources all of a sudden.
You only need 50 health if you've got a full red to use all of the red armor, so that's enough. And he's doing a good job so far getting the frags, and this is so important. This run needs to be big, and he's slowly making it big with all these kills with the LG there. Picks up another YA as he goes down towards the center map again. Just looking for BPS and Locust, but they started to play a bit defensively. Again, that's very, very smart. You don't want to give away too many frags when you have an enemy running around with a quad.
I wonder if GT can keep this spree going on a little bit longer, though. His armor, Locust, very weak right at the end. He's going to push in for the frag and be aggressive on that one. Dev is up by red. Not sure if it just spawned for him at all, but this is very good work from GT.
And just like that, they've closed it to a 10 frag difference, and it just takes one big quad, and this is exactly what we wanted to see now. This is very competitive from these two teams, and GT's back on the quad. Hopefully he can get out of there safely. That was so close. Oh, this is beautiful stuff from GT. This guy is not stopping anytime soon.
Absolute mentalist GT. There was very few seconds there with many, many frags that just happened. And he's going to keep piling them up. In fact, Locust up at the top. Can he chase them even further? All of a sudden, look at the score. It's 48-48. They've even taken a lead from that. They were at a monstrous deficit just a minute ago.
This is so awesome to see. GT, a monstrous effort. Now Dev has to take the hand over there and try to keep things safe, but he wasn't in a great engagement. He will lose that out to Locust, but it's still very backwards and forwards, and neither team has a huge amount to work with. It's just really BPS here for Aeronauts. Let's see if he can do it and hold on to that quad damage against GT and Dev. And he looks pretty good actually for it right now. RA spawns can get that, but brilliant ambush there from GT. That was so important. He seals the red, and now GT, if he can just get onto that quad, that would be so game-changing for the Brazilians.
He needs to get up to the quad very quickly. Is GT going to be coming in? And he's back on it with the quad damage. This guy is going to a new level. He's just going to get taken down by a fresh spawn, but Dev is helping him out beautifully. Locust with 10 health. Is he able to survive any longer? Dev, turn around, buddy. He's right there.
Things getting very real right now for Locust and BPS. They found their groove, and then GT smashed it to pieces with all these back-to-back quad runs. That last one wasn't too many frags, but it was enough to shake BPS and Locust off their game and put them into the doldrums, just waiting around the yellow armor. And look at this. GT's going to start to find them, and oh no, Dev gets caught there pinned. He picked up the red, but that stack is going to do nothing for him against the lightning gun.
We are back on GT's mob, and it's actually not long again until we're at the next quad. If there's any resources that he's able to find in that time until the spawn, would be greatly appreciated from his side. A Locust on 100-100 with the red as well, so he's looking good. He was a star player in the beginning, first 4 minutes of this map. I wonder if he can take it back to that level now. BPS next to him, and surely Locust, though, is he going to die? He's got very little health remaining. The red's probably going to be up in about the next 6 seconds or so.
Very close there. Locust initially surviving with just 19 HP, but finally goes down. That's really, really good there for GT and Dev, who are keeping it neck and neck at the moment. 2.5 minutes left, and we have no idea who's going to win this. I think most people want the Brazilians to win it just so we can see DM2, which would be the decider. But right now, I mean, Aeronauts aren't in a great position. BPS is going to go down. Nice little rush there from GT as he fights over the red, which will spawn very soon, but Locust is holding on to it. This is so important. If they can keep this red and take it into the quad, okay, the red's gone, never mind.
I think GT once again turning up and doing inane amounts of damage. Dev, he's going to be falling down right in front of him, but the Brazilians already made an excellent comeback, and we know that it just takes one quad for the whole picture of this game to change completely. And it is going to be spawning in just a few moments now. BPS right next to him. Is there any sign of the Brazilians? Are they going to turn up at all? It just seems to be not here. The penultimate quad is going to be unchallenged, and Locust is going to be absolutely rinsing Dev.
Yeah, this is not a great situation right now for GT and Dev. I mean, you would have expected maybe if they're going to give up the quad that they would create like a defensive setup where maybe they give the map away, but they stop the quad from increasing the lead of Locust and BPS. But they were kind of caught out in the open, almost as if they didn't expect the quad to come from behind, and that seems like it could just break them here, because Locust has just got, with that quad run, a 15 frag difference made for his team.
Some good damage finally onto Locust, but it was a solid quad run right there. It wasn't the fast fragging, but he got a decent amount of frags over the entire duration of it, and managing to survive and now take the red as well. I think you can say that is great success, but there's 60 seconds remaining. There is one more quad very soon, and this is do or die for the Brazilians. They've got to get in this room and fight for that quad damage. BPS coming up, whereas players Dev is just standing there, getting him extremely low. Quad spawns right now, and they're not going to be able to take it. BPS is on 20 points of health. He is going to go down, but now that comeback, it's an 18 frags they need to recover in 38 seconds. This is so much. I don't know if GT can even take it to this level.
Yeah, it might be to the point where the slow spawning will make it impossible.
Yeah.
At some stage, we'll have to see if GT can make an effort here. But yeah, you can start to see that the tempo of the map has dropped significantly as both BPS and Locust don't want to throw this one away, and they will start slow spawning and make it impossible, and hiding as well. And we saw such heroic efforts there from both GT and Dev. Those quad runs gave all of us real hope for that third map. I mean, GT with the 3 back-to-back quad runs, I think it was like almost a 30 frag difference that they recovered.
It was an unbelievable recovery he made, but it was very well done actually by BPS and Locust to actually make it back in that and to really secure that victory and take the 2-0. They definitely can see why they were maybe a little bit, I don't know if anxious is the right word, but giving a lot of respect to Team Brazil in that interview.
Absolutely. Yeah, great effort indeed. And I'm sure they're going to be pretty happy. It's hard to probably have expectations to take down a team that has Locust and BPS. And I think Locust and BPS are playing a lot better than they were at the start of the day. They're definitely very used to the setup, very warm at this point, and they're looking quite scary. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing their future matches as well. I mean, it's going to be good. From this point, we've got the cream of the crop left, the true Quake veterans. Lots of awesome action to look up for. Sorry?
Lots of Scandinavians.
Lots of Scandinavians, yes. Yeah.
There's a huge amount of Scandinavians left. But what would be really awesome is actually if we get a compilation of all the quad runs, as you said, but actually have people rate which one's the best quad run. I think that would be quite interesting, because there's been quite a lot of them that have been happening. They've all been very, very
any favorites for you?
I don't know, that GT one that we just saw, that was pretty hype. But there's been a few